Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another episode of the Late Night Report. This is your boy D. Will. This is also Defending the Boys. And today we're going to talk a little bit about linebackers. That's why I got my hat on. I know we're going to talk about Demo today. All right, hey, we're going to get to it right now.
They are an accident waiting to happen.
Stephen A, hush your mouth, talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D, Texas where we stay at. We inside in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and now we don't play that. Work, this is Cowboy Nation. Work, welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work, y'all can keep on hating.
Cowboys Nation, we are getting closer and closer to training camp, the beginning of the 2026 NFL season, and the Dallas Cowboys are going to have some things to discuss in training camp. Now, we're moving away from the NFL draft. You know, every single team has a little bit of excitement or festivity because some people don't like the way their teams draft, right? And we sometimes don't. I remember even when we got Booker, boy, me and my son was looking at each other at first like, that's who we decided to go with in the first round. But again, that particular one ended up working. There have been some that didn't end up working. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, some teams just their fans aren't excited about what they actually draft. This year, the Dallas Cowboys fans are very excited about what we drafted. That's what we are. We are very excited. We cannot wait for the preseason to get here. We cannot wait for training camp to get here so that we can start to see some of these moving pieces and really get further and further away from last year, which was the worst defense in the league, and something that was just hard to swallow. With an offense as good as we had, we couldn't win games because we had the worst defense. That's really crazy when you kind of think about it. So there's a little bit of excitement, a lot of excitement, not even a little bit of excitement, but a lot of excitement going into the preseason. So as we get into training camp, there's a couple of things that we are going to want to look at. And this episode is going to be about linebackers. We're going to talk about linebackers. And the first linebacker that I have to talk about, tip my hat to old DeMarvion Overshown. We got to talk about him because the question is are we going to get a healthy DeMarvion Overshown for the very first time for an entire season? I mean, think about his career, as much splash as it is, as many highlights and big plays as we can really show for DeMarvion Overshown. He continues to get hurt. Before the 23 season, he get hurt, and it was a full season. In the 24 season, he played, and then he got hurt, and then he was out, and then he was out for the first bulk of, I mean, all the way till the game before Thanksgiving, I believe, is what it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think he came back the Raiders game, and the Raiders game, if I'm not mistaken, was the game before Thanksgiving, or maybe 2 games before. Maybe it was the game after it was 2 games before Thanksgiving, so it was still November before he actually came back, because it was right after the bye. And even that, I feel like, was kind of pushed, and he didn't have, the greatest of seasons last year. But then again, who did? I mean, in that, I'm just going to have to right now, from an optimism standpoint, I have to assume the scheme screwed up everybody. Scheme screwed up everybody. There's nobody who played well last year, and that doesn't mean that they're not good players. It just means that they played in the worst scheme ever created by man. Okay? That's what we're going to go with, because that's the most optimistic thing that we can come up with. That's optimism for us right there, okay? So we're going to blame it on the scheme. It doesn't make it. I mean, we can go back and forth all day long where you got to put some blame on the players. No, I don't have to do anything. I'm telling you that in a defense where nobody believed in it, nobody plays well. Quentin Williams didn't even look good except for one game. I think the Vegas game, I think, is the only game that he really just looked good. I mean, he did his job, but I mean, it's hard to like stand out in a defense that literally plays that well or is designed that bad. And so, yes, DeMarvion Overshown didn't have the best stats last year, but I'm not sure that I want to hold that against him and assume that I mean, we've seen just too much greatness out of him without the injuries. So we're going to assume that he plays well. Now, assuming that he is playing at the level that we're used to seeing DeMarvion Overshown playing, and he can play that for an entire year. If we make that assumption, and I do understand it's an assumption, right? But it's also an assumption that he doesn't play the whole year, right? Because if you really think about odds, it's, kind of one of those things where, okay, he's already had his back-to-back injuries. He really should finish up his career fairly healthy because the normal injuries that people get throughout their career, he got them all early. So when you think about odds like that, as well, it's just as easy to say that, hey, it's due time for him to have a full season rather than believing that he's only going to play a piece of a season. So that's what we're going to assume for right now is that DeMarvion Overshown is going to play an entire season. Okay, so assuming that he plays an entire season and assuming that he plays at the level that he showed us even last year. Now, if you remember in practices, he still had some of that speed. There was just things in the games that we didn't like, but we don't know what the scheme was or whatever. It was bad. But as far as athletic ability, speed, ability to get there, he showed that he still had it even in the training camp while he was running down plays in celebration and different things like that. He showed that he still had that speed. So again, we're going to assume that he gets into training camp and that speed is still there. If that is the case and his aggressiveness is still there and his head is still there, right? His head is still in the game, then he's going to be a starting linebacker. He's definitely going to be a starting inside linebacker. I mean, that was what the question is. I don't think that there's another player on the team that we're going to trust more, including a rookie that played well in college. And Barham, we can't assume that he's going to take DeMarvion Overshown's spot right now, right? So I think that with those two things being said, your two inside linebackers are definitely going to be DeMarvion Overshown and D Winters. Those are the two that I feel like are going to be there in the beginning. Now, there's going to be some rotation. I do believe that the rookie, I'm excited about the rookie just like everybody else. I just don't know if he's a starting inside linebacker quite yet. I think he could get there. I think if we do have an injury to either one of them, D Winters or DeMarvion Overshown, God forbid, and we're hoping that we do not. But if we do, I think he would be able to fill in nicely. And that's what the expectation is, right? And when you start talking about wanting to go deep into the playoffs, you can't just have starting players. Like, you got to have people who can back up and come in and fill in at a high level. And that's what we're expecting for our rookie to be. So here's the question that everybody asks, right? Like, how do we really believe that this defense is going to get better? Like, you expect for them to go from last in the league, 32nd in the league, to, I think what I asked beforehand was, could they be top 15? Not even top 16. Some people just say, can they be top half? Can they be top 10? But I literally asked, could they be top 15? And most of the naysayers are literally saying there are too many things wrong, right? And one of the things that they point at is not knowing, or the uncertainty at middle linebacker, right? And what they're really saying is they don't know how good D Winters is because Cowboys fans only watch Cowboys games. And so they've never seen a San Francisco game. So even though this guy had 100 tackles last year, which is I mean, we have no Cowboys linebackers that had 100 tackles last year. But even though D Winters had 100 tackles last year, there's still doubt in Cowboys fans' mind about how he's going to do. Now, I have a benefit because I am a TCU Horned Frog, an alumni. I played for TCU. So I watched TCU, and I've seen him playing and growing up, through his college years, so I know the type of player that he is. So I have a little less doubt in him than a lot of other people do. The other doubt, obviously, is in DeMarvion Overshown and whether or not he's going to be healthy. We just going to believe in his health. How about that? How about we not say he's going to get hurt and stop speaking that into his life and go with he's going to be healthy, right? And now we can start to look at where the backups are. I think those are two capable starters. I'm not saying the best linebackers in the league, although I think DeMarvion Overshown has an opportunity or a chance, the possibility to become a Pro Bowl linebacker. He has that type of athletic ability. He just has to stay healthy. And if he stays healthy, I think that that's something that can happen. And honestly, man, if you put two linebackers together and they both can get 100 tackles in a year, I mean, woo. You're doing a lot of stopping. It probably ain't a lot of touchdowns going on in that situation. So I'm just saying, from a starting linebacker position, DeMarvion Overshown stays healthy and D Winters continues to do what he's been doing, then we have two decent inside linebackers. Now the what if is truly in the rookie. He's a very large man. He's a massive man that has speed, that can get there, and we have the possibilities, but we just haven't seen him do it yet, and he might can do it. And from a backup role, we'd be excited if he came in there and started putting the hat on people, right? But we do also have other people, and we still have Shamar James that I don't really know what we got in him, right? If we just don't want to sit here and just be negative because of how he played last year, right? Because that was supposed to be his breakout year, but it's hard to have a breakout year with the 32nd ranked defense in the league. So I don't want to hold Shamar James's 2025 season against him because I don't even know what he was supposed to do. That's how bad. I don't think they knew what they were supposed to do. I mean, that's how bad the defense was last year. So there's even possibility that a Shamar James decides that he's getting ready to show up and show out in what should be his second. I mean, this is his third year, but this is, for all intents and purposes, his sophomore year, because last year you can almost put a healthy scratch on it. It was that bad. They didn't want to put him on there. They didn't want to put him on the field to begin with because they wanted to keep putting somebody out there who didn't know where he needed to be, somebody whose eyes clearly deceived them for an entire year, right? And then when they did put him in, I mean, he didn't play very well. I'm not gonna lie, but again, I don't know what he was told to do, so I can't say it's his athletic ability. It's just as easy for me to blame it on the coaching staff not being able to tell these players where to be. So again, Shamar James could be an okay player. Maris Leofau, who I've seen have a lot of promise, even in the NFL, not just his college tape. We've seen it before Eberflus took over. We actually saw promise in some of these players. So I think it's hard to just sit here when we're talking about the linebackers and just assume, man, we're sitting at nothing. Yes, I do know what that means. I know that means that we have to make some assumptions, and that's what scares people. But there are some assumptions in almost every team. And just as easy as these teams or these players could be bad, they could really step up and be average. I'm not talking about the greatest players ever. I'm just talking about playing with the potential that they've actually been drafted for. And these are drafted players. And when you talk about the linebacker room, that's how I feel about it. I feel that we still have potential. I'm not saying that they're not going to do anything else. I'm not saying they're not going to pick up somebody post, June 1st. I know that there's some players that we just read about. I don't forgot the name of the player, but there was a player who somebody didn't pick up their 5th-year option. And I think it was Detroit. Detroit has a linebacker that's like 24, 25 years old. The name is escaping me right now. That's somebody that we can go get. I'm not saying the Cowboys won't go get him. I'm just simply saying if we're just going to look at the stuff that we have right now, we can be down on those players, or we can remember how much hope we had for Shamar James and Maris Leofau, and how good DeMarvion Overshown played. Understanding who D Winters actually is. I'm not saying we have the best linebacker crew, but I'm saying very easily average. 15 is average. 16, 15, that's average defense. Very easily an average linebacker core. Average linebacker core, average front seven, average back end is an average defense. My question was, could they be average? Could they be 15 or 16? If we're only looking at the linebacker room, I think they could be at least average. That's how I feel. Hey, that's all I got for you today. Thank y'all for checking out the Dallas Cowboys late night report. Y'all know every night around 10:30 we're going to upload a little bit of something for you to start getting excited about the season with. You can always tell us what you want to talk about either in the comments. You can post those below, or you can actually go to our social media and hit us up on there. It's Defending the Boys on X. No, on TikTok, it's Defending the Boys. On Instagram, it's Defending the Boys. But on X, it's Defending the Boys with a DA instead of a THE. All right, that's all I got for you guys today, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Holla.